also being the first webinar for the year. Good to have you here, Ananaba. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing the name well, but apologies if I murdered your name. Or you can unmute yourself and mention it for me to hear. Thank you.
Good evening. Hi. Yes, you pronounced my surname perfectly well. Thank you.
Thank you. So please, how do you pronounce the first one? Is it Nnamdi?
Nnamdi, yes.
Nnamdi. Great. Thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you.
Hi. Thank you. Hi, Chukwudi. Welcome to today's webinar. So before we start, we will wait for a period of 10 to 5 to 10 minutes for the others to join. Then we can start. Um, so before we start, as usual, we indicate where we are joining this webinar from. So I will start. I'm joining from Accra, Ghana. So kindly type in the chat or the comments where you are joining this webinar from. Thank you. So we can get to interact and know ourselves. Thank you. Hi, Damilola. Good to have you here. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on where you are joining this webinar from. Would you mind sharing where you are joining this webinar from? You can kindly type it in the chat so we can know where you are joining us from. Thank you. Good evening, product divers. If you're just joining us, you are welcome to the first webinar for the year. Um, would you mind indicating where you are joining this webinar from? Kindly type that in the chats for everyone to see. Thank you. Great. It seems Lagos is in the lead. We have to change that. So if you're here and you haven't indicated where you are joining this webinar from, kindly let us know where you are joining us from. We can let Lagos win for today. And also, if you know anyone who is supposed to be here but not here, kindly give them a call, send them a text message, remind them that we are live, we are here now. So they should do well to quickly join in so they don't miss out on any of the gems that will be dropped today. Welcome, Kenny. Welcome, everyone. So kindly let us know where you are joining this webinar from so we can address you properly. Thank you.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Can I join you from Abuja?
Great. Welcome you, Kenneth. You can as well type in where you are joining from if you don't want to speak. But it would be great to have you speak anyway. Thank you. Awesome. We have someone joining in from Akure. Nice. Bayasa. Wow. Bayasa, that's River State. Okay. So we have Akure, Abuja, Bayasa, Accra. Lagos cannot win today. So if you are on the live and you haven't indicated where you are joining this webinar from, please do well to share that so we can all know where you are joining from. Thank you. And also, if you know anyone who is supposed to be here but not here yet, kindly send them a text message, call them, let them know we have started and they need to join this webinar. They cannot miss out on today's webinar. So we'll be starting in 2 minutes. We don't want anyone to miss out on this. Thank you. All right. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Depending on where you are joining this webinar from, my name is Sarah Matupa. I'm a product manager based in Accra, Ghana. Apologies for my husky voice. I have a bit of flu, so that's why my I sound like this. Apologies for that. So you are welcome to today's webinar, being the first of many for this year, and it's starting on a high note. And we'll be working. I'll be working with a team of other community organizers to bring this webinar to you today. So all I want you to do is to sit, relax, and don't forget to um, note down or jot gems that will be dropping from our speakers today. You cannot come here and leave empty-handed. You have to learn something Yes, it's by force. You have to learn something new today from this webinar to help you to scale or better your product management career in the year 2023. So for a start, I'll run you through series of the lineup, what we'll be doing today. So as we may all know, today we are talking about managing your product management career in 2023. Yes, as product managers, every year with its new challenges and every new goals. But how do you position yourself? How do you manage your career in 2023? So Product Dive has put together seasoned speakers, seasoned product managers in the field to give you tips on how you can manage your product management career in 2023. So this is my face. This is the voice behind what you can see. That's my face, and I'm sure some of you here know me. I'm a proud student, a former student of Product Dive, and Product Dive has helped me in so many ways that I cannot imagine. So, first of all, I'll give you a brief introduction about Product Dive, then we can zoom in into today for the agenda for today. So, first of all, welcome to the Friendless Product Dive community, product manager community, which is none other than Product Dive. Um, we are happy people. We are always learning, having fun. We see ourselves as unique, friendly, and a group of young people who wants to build better products for users. So product dive, it's all about helping practicing product managers like you and I, or aspiring product managers, become highly skilled. So that's why does product dive want you to become highly skilled as a product manager? First, so that you can build products that serves customers better. You and I can agree that if your product doesn't have value, users will not be willing to interact or use your product. So product dive helps you to position yourself so you can help serve your customers better, and also so you can accelerate your careers in product management. And how do we do this? We do this through community engagement, training, career support. So we used to have product dive meetups before Corona hit. So we now move everything strictly online. So all year round, we have courses and training programs that you can access so you can stay on top of your product management career. So we also have the weekly product dive ask me anything sessions, and we also have the product dive webinar like the one we are having now, and we have the training programs. All of this you can access them on the website. That's www.productdive.com. For all of you who don't know, Product Dive run online workshops. For now, there are two. So one is transitioning into product management. Maybe you are in another industry. You want to start your career in product management, but don't know how to do that. We at Product Dive, we have a well-tailored course for you to help you transition into product management. And in this course, you learn how to land your first PM job, how to work on your CV, prepare for the product management interviews, have a hands-on experience on product management. And this is like a 9-week coaching course that has been put together. So if you are thinking of transitioning into product management this year, this course is right for you. So we currently have a session in progress, but don't worry, we have another session starting next month. We start on the 25th of February. So if you want to register, you can visit the website, or you can just follow the link on the screen right now to uh, sign up for this. And the interesting thing is, we are currently giving you a 15% discount off. It's only Product Dive that can do this. So if this is something you want to do, like in this new year, please don't hesitate. take advantage of this 15% discount and in a couple of days. So if I were you, I will just do that right now. And also for PMs who don't know how to navigate, maybe they feel stuck in their careers and they want to scale, they want to build better products. Um, I recommend the complete product management workshop for you. And this is also online. And we have a session that's starting tomorrow. But don't worry if you're not part of this session, you can join the next session that starts in April, 1st of April. And just like I mentioned earlier, we are also giving you a whooping 15% discount on the total cost of this course. So take advantage of it. Visit the website or register via the link projected on your screen. Take advantage of this course to become highly skilled, become the competent product manager you want to be in 2023. And this course can also prepare you for your certified PM exam. So please take notes of these courses, the discounts, and register accordingly. Now to the agenda for today. We all want to scale. We all want to build better products. We all want to serve our customers better. But sometimes you don't know where to start. It's a new year. We have goals. We have aspirations for our products. We have product goals. But how do we navigate that? So Product Dive, so concerned about your growth in product management, have put together this webinar for you to learn some one or two tips on how to manage your product management career in 2023. And we put together this seasoned speakers. Some are product owners, some are product management professionals, and they will be talking to us today on how to manage your product management career in 2023. So product divers, I want you to sit, relax, take your notebook, your pen, as we dive into today's webinar session. Before then, I would like to introduce our speakers to you. So we have three gentlemen and a lady, and I'd like to give you a brief introduction of our speakers. So I'll start with the lady, as a single ladies first. So our first speaker is Jessica Isai being also. And Jessica is a highly experienced product manager with over 3 years of experience in health tech, fintech, and e-commerce spaces, with a background in customer support, data science, product strategy, market research, and user experience design. She's an expert at identifying customer needs and developing solutions that drive growth and success. Her hobbies include traveling, listening to music, and cooking. And Jessica will be dropping some nuggets today. Ladies and gentlemen, Jessica. And let me go on straight to introduce other speaker that goes by the name Phillip Ade Akembi. So Philip is a data science product manager at Wema Bank. So he's a data science product manager at Wema Bank PLC, where he's currently in charge of development, delivery, and product and management of machine learning and AI powered products. He has over 6 years of experience in innovating, 6 years of experience innovating, managing, and marketing cutting edge products in government and financial institutions. He is well known as an idea incubator and sees challenges as opportunity for innovation. He holds qualifications and certifications in product management and advanced analytics from globally renowned institutions. He's also passionate about financial inclusion, open banking, and volunteerism. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Philip Ade Akembe. Let me go straight to our next speaker for the day. That's Mr. Fumnanya Okeleke Cooper, who currently is a product owner at Seamless HR. So he's a product manager with a strong experience working in a B2C and a B2B startups. He is currently a product manager at Seamless HR, where sorry, where he's building talent management products with his team that is currently serving over 500 businesses in West and East Africa. Outside of work, he writes a product newsletter called the Product Gist, and is an enthusiast of tech, arts, movies, music, and football. Ladies and gentlemen, meet our speaker, Fumnanya Okeleke Cooper. And the last but definitely not the least is Chidi Okoye, who is also a product owner and a dedicated product manager. And he's passionate about using technology to improve education and has honed his skills through the notable works he has done at companies such as Art School Africa, Talent QL, and Dev Careers. He has a unique background as a software engineer who transitioned into product management. Wow. And this combination of technical understanding and strategic thinking has allowed him to excel in his role and drive successful projects. He is currently applying his knowledge and experience to make an impact at Lectorial Limited, where he continued to innovate and improve the education experience for students worldwide. Ladies and gentlemen, without much ado, kindly help me welcome our speakers for today's webinar. It's going to be a panel discussion. This is like a slight twist. It's not a regular product dive webinar. So there's a slight twist. So it's going to be a panel discussion. Um, so without much ado, you are welcome, speakers, to today's webinar session. Thank you for making the time. I know you all have busy schedules, but you took time off to be here with us. We appreciate that. So thank you. So first of all, I just want us to dive right in. Um, this is a preamble to all our speakers. But before then, maybe you can acknowledge the speakers. You can acknowledge your presence before we start.
Hi, this is Fumnanya. Uh, very, yes, very glad to be here. And yeah, thank you for the introduction as well. I'm looking forward to having this discussion as well. Thank you.
Okay. Hi. This is Chidi Okoye, and I'm really, really happy to be here. So it's my first time on a panel session. So I hope it goes nice. All right. Thanks, guys.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Can you hear me, please?
Sure.
You can
All
hear
right,
you.
great. Okay, good evening, everybody. It's so nice to be here, and I look forward to a great session. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you so much.
Hi everyone, good evening. Please confirm if you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we
Alright.
can. Yeah, we can hear you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I feel like I'm back home. I haven't been around for a while. So yeah, so glad to be back in the community and looking forward to having a wonderful talk with everyone.
Thank you. So for all those who don't know, Jessica is also an alumni of Product Dive. So yes, with Product Dive, we turn out the best. So if you are not a product diver, what are you waiting for? So at this point, I'll stop sharing my screen so I can give a chance to our speakers to do their magic. So this goes to all our speakers for the day. This is a preamble for all of them. So I'm giving you 5 minutes to share with the community, how did you get into product management?
Okay. I thought you were going to call someone, but that's okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Started speaking. Please go ahead.
Yeah, that's fine. I guess I'll go ahead. So, yeah, like again, glad to be here, and like Jessica said, it's good to be home. Um, Also went to Product Dive as well in 2020. So I basically started my career, not my product career, just my career in product operations. So I was basically working in sales and customer success combined. And I did that for almost about a year. But towards the, should I say, towards the time when uh, I'd been working for some time, I just sort of woke up one morning and just said, yeah, it can get better than this. And for some reason, I went to my Twitter feed and I found Product Dive. I don't know how that happened, or let me even be honest, I didn't know it was product management in 2019. I just knew that people did stuff, and that was just it. So got the opportunity, spoke with Toby, and there I got into product management. Did the class, basically the last class before lockdown, but that was really cool. And after that, I spent almost 3 years working with Seamless HR so far, and has been really amazing experience. Building products that have been helping businesses become more productive and successful, and just feeding my hands into the B2B space has also been enlightening as well, and helping people, other product managers that are still up and coming, um, in their product journey, advising, helping them improve their work has also been a delight for me. So yeah, that's just like a summary of my journey, and yeah, glad to be here again.
Awesome. I'm so glad to hear that. You started your journey with Product Dive. That's good. That's awesome. Great. Hello, Chidi. Uh,
Okay. So from my end, it's a bit not of a straight road, right? So I was a software engineer who transitioned, and it wasn't an easy decision for me. So let me just start. 2017, that was the first time I typed in January 1st, 2017 was the first time I opened my laptop and typed in "Hello World" HTML, right? And and from there, I ventured into hotels energy internship. So that was my first major experience. Through the internship, I became a front end engineer, and for 2 years I was active, right? But then it got to a point I discovered, for me, it was more than just writing the code. It was about understanding who are the actual users, right? And luckily for me, I was able to manage products and also programs, that is the subsequent cohorts of the hotels energy internship. And that was my first taste of product management. So right after that, to be honest, I started working on some random project on the side and everything, but it wasn't as concrete as I would have wanted. Now, 2019, I made a decision that, okay, I think it's time to pursue the product career properly. And I think I remembered, for, I think it's 2020, during the COVID period. It was on my birthday actually. I made the tweet that, oh, I wanted to get into Paradive as a birthday gift, right? And that was how I got into Paradive, right? I got it at a discount. So I'm also an alumni of Paradive, and honestly, it was really, really a good journey for me. Right after that, I joined Talent Girl as the first PM. And from Talent Girl, we derived Old School Africa. And it was really, really, there was a lot for me to learn, because these are two different industries. So Talent Girl was under the recruitment space. And then Old School came in and became an edtech, right? So many things. And then on the side of things, I was building some things with my friends. So that was how I was able to like improve myself and then start everything out. And further down the lane, I had the opportunity to join Lecturio, which is also edtech focused. But this time around, not just random edtech, it's focused on medical students. That's the priority. So it's been a good journey for me so far, and yeah, I'm enjoying it. So thanks to ProDive, and here am I.
Awesome, 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 awesome. So far, two of our speakers have confirmed they started their career with Product Dive. I hope you are all listening. If you are here and you haven't started your product management journey with Product Dive, like what are you waiting for? Like waiting you again, as my Nigerian brothers will say. Right. So Jessica, how did you get into product management?
All right. I think for me, it's a bit similar to Chidi. Was not also a straight road. So I think the very first job I had was as a customer representative in my father's company. But he was a computer scientist. Rather, he is a computer scientist. So I worked there for like a year. Then while working there, I got interested in data. So I got into data science. Started doing a bit of ML, trying to make myself look smart. Then I got a first job offer from a health tech company in Abuja, and they were heavily into data. So I got there, and since I was working as a customer service person and on the side a project person, I got a job with them as a project manager, stroke data analyst, and data scientist. You know how startups are. So while I was there, I started working on things like data-related products, really projects at the time, because I wasn't really in the product team. So I was like projects. And while I was doing that, I got interested in a bit of UX. I started doing UX, just dabbling around with it. And while doing that, I got interested. I wanted to know what my developers were building, literally. So I started learning a bit of back-end work with Python, which is also interesting. But I was not feeling, I don't know how to put it. It was not gelling. I loved everything, but I needed something that could put me in the middle, right? Where I don't have to follow UX all the way and, just stick with UX. I don't have to follow project management all the way. I needed something that still puts me in the mix of everything. So one day, I opened my laptop and I started searching. I just very blindly, and I stumbled upon Product School. I did one of their free courses, and I was like, there has to be more to this, right? Like I fell in love with it. I was like, there has to be more to this, and I started searching, and lo and behold, I bumped into Product Dive. So I took my first real product-related course with Product Dive. Learned quite a lot from amazing speakers. Then I started implementing the things I've learned at work, and lo and behold, I kind of gravitated away from projects into product. So I kind of like set up the product department in the company, and then started working on their products and helping them build it up. After a while, I kind of left also because people have to grow. So from then to now, we've been moving up little by little.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Hi, Philip.
Hi.
Can you share with us how you got into product management?
Okay, thank you very much. Once again, it's so good to be here. For me, I had quite an interesting journey. And so I started with product marketing some 6-7 years ago. Then I moved into product management around this time 4 years ago during the election time. So I was working at INEC there in one of the state offices at INEC in the East. And we were tasked to, um, deliver this product, this smart card readers that everybody has to vote with. And it was quite daunting, so many things to do. We did not know where we were going. We did not even know how we were going to get it done, but we just kept doing them right. And we got it right, actually. So while doing all that, I actually thought I was doing project management, right? But I just kept going on, and it was a success. Sorry, but I now moved away from government to like the banking industry. So I joined Access Bank in 2019. So it's sort of like a product operations role. Then to me, it just felt like I needed to do more. I started doing some research, like how can I add something extra to this product management. And so I sort of dabbled into blockchain, dabbled into data, like which one would be more interesting for me. So I did some courses in blockchain. I had some certifications and some sort of nano degree and all that. But I just felt like the adoption at that time, I was not feeling it. So said data is everywhere, really. Like everything we do, generate data. This meeting, generating data. So I decided to go with data. And so I joined my current organization, Roma Bank, as a data scientist. And so while working as a data scientist, I noticed, yeah, we're building products, we're building cool stuff, but there was still something missing, like that core role of a product manager. And that was where I sort of like came in. So in that space, I was able to like add some of my product management skills to my data science skills. So it gave that sort of difference, gave that sort of extra to the achievement of some goals. And I just felt like, yeah, I think this is possible. I did not know what I was doing at the start.
Hello, Philip. I think you're muted.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Have I been muted since? Okay.
No, not quite long.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you. So I was talking about how I moved into data science, then combined my product management skills to my data science skills, and just became a data science product manager in my role. And I think one thing that really helped me to shape a lot of things I did was me joining with Product Dive. Yeah, I'm actually an alumni of Product Dive as well. I was with Product Dive in 2021. Um, After the whole lockdown, I wanted to, just I had that drive to do more. So I started researching. I did that was when I did some blockchain courses, but was not feeling it. So then I was introduced to Product Dive by a friend. So I did courses. It really, really opened my mind. And that was when I just knew, okay, yes, I can do this. I can get these things done. So currently, I work as a data science product manager, combining data science, product management, building really cool stuff with AI, machine learning, and all that. So it has been an interesting journey, but I would really want to say once again that product that really did shape a lot of things in my mind to be where I am today. So thank you very much once again, product dive, and yeah, I'm really really happy to be here. Thank you.
Great, great. At this point, let me also add, I was also a product diver. Like I also took my course from product dive. That's how I transitioned to product management. Yeah, so good to have you all here. Good to have you back home to share with the community. I'm so excited about this. Guys, great, 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 great. One thing that runs through your how you got into product management, aside you transitioning into product management with product dive, one thing that runs through that I have seen is you all want to do something worthwhile for users to be able to relate to. So you want to give value to users, and that's something that product dive seeks to do. Like wants to train product divers to build better products that serve customers well. But I'm sure when you transition into product management, you encountered some challenges here and there. So Philip, let me start with you since you just finished speaking. What are some of your biggest challenges? And how did you overcome them?
Hmm. Okay. Wow. Thank you. So, product management, as we may all know, is quite an interesting role because you are sort of like, they say you're the CEO of the product and all that. You dictate the growth, the vision, and all that. But in real sense, sometimes you have no power. You can only beg some people to get something done, like, please. So yeah, that's for me, I think would be a major challenge. And I would also shape it in this way that I think soft skills is other than hard skills, actually. Being somebody that has worked in product management roles and sort of has some technical skills with data science, I would say that getting somebody, convincing somebody that this is how it should be based on certain metrics, based on certain things, like it is not so easy, right? Stakeholder management, your developers, the users eventually, and all that. So I think that soft skills part is really a major thing that everybody has to have. So I think a lot of people struggle in that in that sort of skills with that skill set. So for me, I would say one of the major things or a problem with product management that I face is getting to adequately use my soft skills. I do fantastically well, but when it comes to certain deliverables, you just have to like really dig deep, right, to get some things done. And also, I think for me, because of the unique way I'm trying to have that I have the skill set I have, right, it's sort of just makes it I have to go the extra mile to get some things done because first of all, people don't even understand what data science is. They don't even understand what product management is. Is it data analysis? Is it project management? So you have to like also sit back and say, no, this is how it is, and this is how we can get these things done. This is how we can combine this together. This is how we can also achieve this with this. So for me, I think putting it all together is also a major challenge. But that's the work, really. That's the work. So yeah, that's those are things I would say are major challenges in product management for me, and also from people I've spoken with.
Thank you, Philip. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Product divers, I hope you are taking notes on some of these things. Um, Great. Hello, Chidi. Please, what were some of the challenges you encountered when you transitioned into product management? You being a software engineer and you wanted to better understand your users, you want to build valuable products for them, and now you transition into product management. What challenges did you encounter?
Okay. I would always say, right. So, like Philip mentioned, PMing is more of dealing with people, right? You're trying to like communicate with people. You're trying to do all those things. For me, it was easier to actually deal with engineers, like talk to them because I actually have an understanding of what they're doing, right? But one of my major challenges was managing the stakeholders, right? Because that was a weak point for me, right? Because here you're dealing with somebody that is telling you, I want this. And you are trying to tell the person, no, we can't do this. But he has a different context, you have a different context. So for a while, I had that issue, and it was a really, really big challenge for me. It took me a while for me to like actually get a hang of it. Now, another thing was the fact that in our ecosystem right here, most times, product manager's role is more of you're doing a lot of things. You're wearing multiple hats. Like it's beyond just managing product. Like you are doing every damn thing. Most times you're involved in customer success calls, you are involved in managing product. In fact, management meeting, most times you are also involved in that. Like you don't really have a personal time for you to actually do your PMing work. So that alone, I don't know. It's not just. I don't think that's just a me thing. I think it's every program manager's issue, right? But it's actually a big challenge. And then at the end of the day, you might get asked, "Alpha, what are you doing? Like, what exactly are you doing?" But then there's no way for you to actually say, because you actually have to get involved in all these processes. So top of the list for me is that stakeholder management. It's a big challenge. And then secondly, or let me say the third one has always been trying to upskill, right? Now, we don't have so much time. We just have 24 hours. And how can you spare out at least, let me just say, at least 5 hours in a week to upskill? It's a huge challenge, right? Yes, we learn on the job and everything, but you need to like have some spare time for yourself where you like do some personal thing to help yourself. But it's a bit difficult. Most times it's always midnight where you can just, oh, I need to learn this, I need to do this. So those are my main challenges at the moment, which I can currently think of. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Product divers, I hope you are listening and you are taking notes. These were their challenges. So if you are paying attention and you are taking notes, some of you can overcome some of your challenges if they are similar to yours. So let me go straight to Jessica. Jessica, what were some of your challenges and how did you overcome them?
I think my biggest problem, still part of my problem, but it has reduced a bit, is inferiority complex. You never, I don't know, but I never feel like I know it all. Like, I always go into a meeting and there's still something that somebody says and I'm like, what's that? you know and of course, when you're in the midst of other product managers who are supposedly quite as accomplished or even more accomplished than you feel a bit uncomfortable having to talk about your product. I was like that a lot. I'm a bit more outspoken now when it comes to product management, but when I started, I was really, really quiet. We could be in a product meeting and I will be the most quiet person in the room, even though most times I actually have an idea of what they're saying, but just because I feel like I will say something and it will be wrong, right? I had that issue. How did I overcome it? So I overcome it with my support systems. What I mean by support system, the people I had around me. I had people, engineers who could see that I knew what I was doing. I had my significant other, my husband, who also felt that I was putting myself too down. It was so bad that I would see roles and actually not apply for them because I feel, no, I'm not there yet. you know? So I got over it by just having a lot of people push me, literally push me forward and say, you can do this, apply. If you try and you fail, you failed. Nothing gained, nothing lost. You are fine, you know. Even applying for jobs is a learning process. So yeah, that was one. Second thing, and I think I also agree with Chidi, business people, oh my God, interacting with business people is a problem. Even till now, it's a problem. Sales, all those guys, I always say, you people are the pain I have in this office. Whenever I have a discussion with my sales team, I always have headache because they always go and they say something to the customer and they come back and they say, oh, this person is it now. You know, if we don't get it, we're going to lose this customer and, you know, all those many, many things. And I'm like, bruh, it's not a button. I'm not going to put a button, even if it's a button. There are many things that you have to do to get it together, right? So I had to start trying to outrightly teach myself to be patient. Got many people to say I didn't have the patience to interact with business people and explain the process. But I always felt, God, you are smart. The way it's hard for you is the way it's hard for me, you know? So I had to teach myself how to actually interact with them a lot better, try and figure out how to speak their language. As much as you have to learn how to speak engineers language, you also have to learn how to speak business people's language, right? I'm still learning that, but it has improved a lot. Those are my two outstanding, even till now.
Awesome. Before we go to our next speaker to learn about his challenges, if you are here and you know someone who is supposed to be but not here yet, don't learn alone. Let them know that we are learning. We are learning from people like in the industry, people like you and I, people who have been through the meal, and they are sharing real life experiences. This is not like they didn't read this in books. They experience it themselves, and they are willing to share with us to learn so that we don't repeat the same mistakes, or if those same challenges come our way, we will know how better to deal with them. So don't learn alone. Invite that friend, share the link with them. Let us come in, let's all learn together. And I hope you're also taking notes. Okay, Fumnaya, what were your challenges and how did you deal with them?
I mean, I almost want to say everybody has said it all, but yeah, there are some challenges that I faced, especially when I was starting out. And one challenges was that comparing experiences with business people. I mean, you're working with business people who have been in the game 15 years, 20 years, and you're having to do trade-offs with them. I think when I initially started, Seamless HR's product department was still at the baby stage. We're not really like big yet. So we were having people who were just like starting out their product careers. My line manager was the only one that probably had like what about 5 years of doing this. So it was always a lot, always clashing with stakeholders and all of that. So it always seemed like, oh yeah, like oh, like they don't know what they're doing and whatnot. But what really helped me was execution. And when I mean execution, I mean delivering results. Because once you start delivering results, you will notice that stakeholder language will change. They start becoming your friend. They start, treating you with respect. So if you say that something is not feasible in the next 2 weeks, they actually want to listen to why it's not feasible. Instead of like before, they would say, no, it has to come out tomorrow, right? And when I started executing and started delivering, the language changed and it became much easier for me to like really understand them. In fact, about 2 weeks ago, one of the stakeholders even called me and said, "You don't talk to me like you used to those days anymore. Like, what's happening? Like, let it change this year." And you begin to see that once you're delivering results, once the product that you're delivering is really helping a lot of people and is making the work of other stakeholders easier, they become your friends. So that was really helped me to solve it. So execution, especially if you're at the early stage of your product career, you cannot play with execution. You have to be really good at it. You have to be able to deliver, keep delivering. Um, Another thing that I faced was balancing short-term needs with long-term needs. Your CEO wants to go all over the world. Your CEO thinks this product can't even reach Mars, and but you have like a short-term need. Your salespeople are dragging you like, if you don't get this thing out now, like we're done. We're going to lose like 10 customers, and you really have to balance it, and you have to strategize around it. And I had to learn this like pretty quickly because there were some times where I would give timelines that were not feasible. Still remember my first roadmap. Oh my God, was a disaster. Yeah, my CTO basically told me that I was preparing the product to fail. But it was such a very interesting because when I went home, I slept off and I woke up the next day and I created the best roadmap that I could ever create for my products. So what was I able to do then? I was able to sort of like have trade-offs with my CEO. And it also helps to explain what you're thinking, around your vision, because you cannot just go into a room and expect the rest to dictate it for you. You have to also tell them what you're thinking. You have to explain your vision, explain your thought process, why we are going like this. And I think that it really helped me at that time to be able to learn how to balance the short term and the long term needs. And like I said, if you're friends with stakeholders, they'll be able to understand. And if you communicate as often as possible, that's the most important thing for them. They will understand you and also speak your language too. So yeah, those are some of the problems I faced, and execution, communicating on time and effectively, and also sharing my thoughts and ideas on a regular basis were some things that helped me um, defeat those challenges. I mean, there are still challenges today, but it's not like, like before when you're starting out and you're like, when a stakeholder calls you on maybe Microsoft Teams, your heart is already beating in 1,000 places. But now, when they call you, you're just like, oh, okay, what's up? And yeah, so those are some of the lessons I learned.
Great, great, great. Just a quick recap. Speaker Fumnanya said execution, execution, communication. Once you deliver on time and you communicate, your stakeholders now be your biggest cheerleaders. So you, as a product manager, Toby always says that you can't be a product manager and be lazy. You know, laziness and being a product manager doesn't go hand in hand. So you have to keep to timelines, communicate, deliver. And also, Philip spoke about soft skills. As a product manager, what soft skills do you have, or what are you honing? For Chidi talked about stakeholder management. It's a whole lot of issue for everybody. I face that on a daily basis, and it's a crazy something. Um, Jessica talked about inferiority complex. Imposter syndrome is real. Sometimes you are in a room with devs, they are saying their jargons, and you're like, okay, should I keep quiet or I should go ahead and talk? Because it's like I know rich. I don't know, like I don't know whatever I'm going to say is right. Yes, that is real. As a product manager, these are some of the challenges. But then again, she mentioned something that the devs, the software engineers, gave her a support. As a product manager, one of the best feeling is when your devs that you work with support you, give you all the best. Like there is no other feeling in that like world. Like they will go the extra mile for you. So you have to build like a good rapport with your software engineers as a product manager. You have to. You don't have to fight with them because they are your biggest support on the product team. So, yeah, guys, it's getting interesting. I hope you're all taking notes. You are learning something new. So, before I go on, I'd like to know if anyone has any question for our speakers, please type them out. And at the right time, I'll read them out for our speakers to address. Then back to our speakers. I'd like to know, it's a new year. We all have our product goals. We want to create that product that users love. We want to add value. How do we do that? How do we set those goals as a product manager? So if we, like, we want tips, like practical tips. You've had your challenges, you overcame them. What worked for you? What tips would you, for someone who is aspiring to be a product manager, or someone who is a product manager already, but this year I want to scale, I want to build better product? Where do I start from? What do I do? Chidi.
Okay. So from my own end, so let me share from my current experience, right? So this is 2023. We're already end of June, end of January, right? One thing that kind of like seems smart is to actually first and foremost have a conversation with the business leads, that's your stakeholders, right? Now, the reason why I'm starting that is, first of all, let's understand what did we accomplish last year, right? When you understand that, now that's one. Number two is understand what is the big picture we're trying to accomplish. So there's always like a big goal, right? Which cannot be accomplished in like say 4 or 5 years, right? Now, look at what was accomplished last year. Look at that big goal. Are we making progress? If it's a yes, you tick it. Now, you are still going to ask them the question. So, what is our goal for this year? Before you start making your own plan as a PM, you need to first understand there. So they'll be like, oh, want this, want that, want this, want that. And now you guys now break it into quarters. Because if you don't break it into that quarters, fam, it's failure already. Now, on my team, so let me share a practical experience. On my team, we're 8 program managers, and it's what we did was on the first week, the CEOs came on board, and then they were like, oh, this is our big picture for the year, and this is what we look out for, right? This is the amount of money we have for runway, this is the size of the team and everything, and this is what we look to accomplish, right? Now, top priority, so there will always be that number one priority. You have to ask, what is the most important thing to be accomplished? And then they were like, oh, for us, top priority for this year is to make sure we have make sure that our system can support the new NCLEX exams for the medical students, right? If we can support that, we're good to go. I'm like, okay. Now the head of products came around. They're like, okay, how do we accomplish this? So we started delegating. Now you handle these features, you handle these features. Here is your team that will help you. So it's all about managing and then trying to like organize tasks, right? Make sure that you understand it first, understand the goal for the year, break it down into quarters. Note, it can still change, right? It can always change. It will always change, right? Because most times, what you assign for quarter one, you might not accomplish it in quarter one. It might find a way to tilt into quarter two. You won't end it. You still have to find a way to adjust it. But as long as you are still in line to accomplish the main goal, yeah, fine, you're good. And then one more thing, please make sure everybody is involved. You see those sales team, those are like threats. They would go outside and tell the business that are coming, oh, we have this ready, whereas it's just design that is ready. Implementation is not working, but these people have sold something else, and then they will not come to you and be like, we want, like, the client want this. Client want what? We only explained to you that we want to build this. We have not built it. Why did you go and sell it? So what I do is I make sure at the beginning of every meeting, I carry them along, and I will still insist and tell them, it is not ready. Don't go and sell to any client. They'll be like, yeah, but we need to tell them we are the future. And we understand. We'll keep you updated, right? Now, aside from the sales team, as a PM, other people you need to work hand in hand with is the customer support people, because these are the people that actually interact with your actual customer. Now, if you have a business that is split into 2 parts, that is B2B and B2C. Now, you know that you have different type of customers. There's the B2B customer support, there's the B2C customer support. So B2C are most likely people that like direct interaction with your product, while B2B are like companies, organizations that have people that interact. So try to understand which, like, your users' pain points. Like, it's always super important, right? From there, you will know where to fix, where to make adjustments. Yeah, CEO will always have their request. Oh, want this, but if that user stops paying his $20 per month, CEO would not send his own idea anymore. They're like, why didn't you do that? But CEO, you are telling me to do this. They don't care. So you need to like find a way to like show them that this is what we're trying to achieve, right? Now, once that is done, your engineers, try to always be there for them. Try to always support them, because like the engineering team will either make or mar you. If your engineers don't if they don't implement anything, you're losing your job. Like, if they tell you, we're not doing this, please beg them. Like, how can I? So most times your job is, how do you make their job easier for them? What do you need to prepare for them? Are you preparing your documentation? Is it up to date? Whenever they have questions, are you always there to answer them? Like, try to always unblock their blockers. Like, they will always be super happy. And then if you have the dedicated ones, once in a while, you can always take them out for lunch if you can. Sometimes just show them we are friends, right? I'm not saying to buy pizza, because most of us do that thing. We buy pizza for them to deliver for you. But yeah, sometimes it helps. Like, always engage with them and all. But for the year, please planning is important. If you don't plan, you are planning to fail. Like, it's super, super important. At the beginning, meet with everybody, meet with your team, the engineering team, discuss with them, what do we have at the moment, what is down, what is going up, what is happening, do we need to do any upgrade, do we need to do any system upgrade, all this kind of stuff. It will really, really like be helpful. So that's my own way and what I've done that worked for me so far. Thank you.
Awesome. So must product managers always take software developers out for lunch?
Yeah, sometimes it's important if you can. Like, yeah.
Okay, great. Hello, Philip.
Hi. Hi, Sarah. Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I will just take mine off from where Chidi stopped. And as a product manager, right, you have to have your goals. You really do have to have your goals. And for me, I'm particularly interested in the goals part because when I was a student with product dive, my capstone project actually was about a product um, to help you achieve your goals. I think so. In my research that I did then, I discovered people just, everybody has these high goals they want to achieve. Everybody wants to just, do the next best thing. Everybody wants to do it prim and proper. But I discovered also that after the first few weeks, after the first few months, everybody they are dropping off, and they just don't know what next to do or how to even like get to that point where they want to get. So it made me like create that product or the story around the product to say, um, when you have a goal, it's best to list certain things that would make you achieve that goal. And it's quite simple in the sense that you have a goal you want to achieve. You break it down into tiny components. A lot of people just say, "Oh, I want to, enter so market. My go-to-market strategy will just be this awesome. My failure rate will be this awesome. My attrition rate will be so very little." And a lot of metrics that people throw out there, and they discover, "Oh, this thing is not going to be achievable. Let me just, tweak it and reduce it a bit." Happier, right? So, my suggestion for product managers is to create goals, also create tasks that would help them achieve that goals. So you have a goal to do a certain thing. So list every single thing you would have to do to achieve that. Then you start ticking them off one by one, right? So it's just not enough to say, this year I'm going to onboard 1,000 customers, or I'm going to reduce churn rates by something percent. So just you have to list everything you're going to do to make sure you achieve that eventual goal, so that at the end of the day, you know where you are stuck and you can find a way to solve that problem at that point. So also because I'm an analytic person, I would say also track your goals, because that's what gives you the knowledge of how far you have come, how we are doing, and how far you can go, right? So I really urge people to also track as best as they can. And yeah, those are my advices for people setting goals this year, because really it's all about goals. This year it's a new year. It's a new year to start all over again. Things you didn't do right the last time, try to get it done this time rightly. And like Chidi also mentioned, really that it's also a good time to look back and say, what did I not do right? That's also part of tracking. What did I not do right? So that in itself is data. What did I not do right? Where did I miss it? Where did I not get it wrong? What did I even do right? So then you now see where you need to adjust and get it done the right way, or like you need to change certain things to make you achieve your goals. So yeah, those are the things I would really suggest. Thank you.
Thank you, Philip. Product divers, I hope you are taking notes. I can be the only one taking notes too. After the session, we'll do like a short quiz. I'm just joking, but I hope you are taking notes. Great, Jessica. So goal setting for the new year. Where do we start?
So I kind of think like everybody has kind of spoken about it, but so let me see how I did mine. Okay, so at the end of the year, what I normally do, or what I did last year, let me use last year, was I went through a roadmap, basically, like what we had planned to achieve that year, because there's always this huge roadmap to achieve in a year, and see how far we have gone. Of course, well, it was good. So after that, when we resumed for the new year, the very first meeting I had was with my CEO, my product growth manager, who is like my head of product. Had meeting with them to discuss what exactly were our plans for the year, what exactly were our big goals. Now, luckily for me, I didn't have a lot of plans. Luckily, unlike a lot of startup owners, they always have a list of things that they want to achieve in 1 year. But this was very straightforward. Just like two things, and I felt like these two things were things that we already had discussed the previous year. With that in mind, I had a discussion with my technical team with these goals and say, okay, so in my own organization, we run microservices, and each microservice is handled by a different technical team. So you have a meeting with different technical team and say, okay, this is our goal for the year, and how does this interact with yours? Like, what's your backlog like for us to actually achieve this, right? So you have that discussion across all of them, and then you come back to your seat, look at what business, of course, have a discussion with business, because even though you're having discussion with the CEO and the rest, business has a totally different plan for you. So have a discussion with your business team as well to find out exactly what they have already. And then you have to now bring everything together. Like Chidi said, bring everything together, have a conversation with your team, if you do have a team, and then pick your easy wins, bring them forward. The big ones, they're good to take on, but if you take them on at the beginning of the year, I've come to understand that you burn out quickly, right? So I would advise you take your small wins first and then build your way up to the big ones. Try and work with OKRs if you can. They make things a lot easier. You can see the big goals, you can see the little things you need to achieve the big goals, and the little things you need to achieve those little things to achieve the big goals. So like you can actually break it down and just map your way through and make it through. You will not possibly get 100%. Just keep that in mind while you are doing all of this, because I know that's also something that product managers problem we have. You always want to get 100%, but sometimes 50% is also good. 40 not so good, but 50% is good. So I would say try and use OKRs. If you don't know about OKRs, learn about them. Try and use them. Look at everything, your backlogs, your business requirements, your sales team, like Chidi also said, and I think Philip also said that. If you are new, look at your numbers as well. Also very important. If the numbers are not tallying, then there's probably a fundamental issue that you're forgetting to look at. And when you forget them and you go way into the year, it's more catastrophic to fix. So look at your numbers and look at I think those are 4 things. If you can put all those things when you are mapping out your year, I can guarantee that you're good.
Thank you, Jessica. Thank you. Thank you. Let me remind you that if you have any question for our speakers, please type them out into the chat. So I'll read them out at the appropriate time for our speakers to answer. So, Fumnanya, what do you have to say on goal setting for the new year?
I mean, Philip, Chidi, and Jessica touched on a couple of things, but I would like to bring like a different perspective when it comes to like goal setting. So I know everybody, most product managers are always they're brimming with ideas, and you're just like, you want to turn this product into, I don't know, like the greatest thing since sliced bread, and you're so pumped and happy, and you submit your roadmap, and CEO is like, nope, nope, no, no, no. Um, and sometimes you have to really assess. And what I always like tell people is that you can have like different types of product failures. Like you could have like technical failures, you can have marketing failures, you can even have organizational failures where product management in itself is not duly respected. Now, before you set any goal, analyze your product thoroughly. Like look at it back and forth. All right. Still remember the product that I was given, it literally just came out of the oven. So we've been building it for a pretty long time, right? And I wasn't even part of the building process. I just came into the company, and when we were doing like product restructuring, they just said, "Oh yeah, you're going to handle this." I'm like, "Okay, what? Yeah, you're handling this. Like, bring it to the market." I'm like, "Really? Yeah, like, bring it to the market." I was like, "Okay, cool." And we were testing for like a month, and it wasn't going great. So I had to go back and do a restructuring. I had to rethink deeply, and I found out that we had a stability problem. And because we had a stability problem, we needed to focus on stability. So I took the team, we went on a sort of like a camping trip where we worked on stability for close to a month. I can guarantee you that for an entire quarter, we were working on stability. And where that product is now, it's in terms of stability is at the highest level, right? And people are always surprised when I tell them that sometimes I get zero bugs like for a couple of weeks. Like I just go there because I'm just so confident that it's going to be zero bugs, right? Sometimes. But the point I'm trying to put down here is that it's very important for you to truly understand where your product is at. If your product is not stable, don't go on and say you want to add more features. You're wasting everybody's time, even your customers' time. Focus on stabilizing your product. If your product does not have great user experience and you say you want to add big features into your product, focus on your user experience. Don't focus on adding extra features. It's not going to help anybody at the end of the day. If your product also lacks features but is relatively stable and user experience is great, then focus on adding those features that will bring delight to your customers. So don't just go blindly and say, "Oh, I have a roadmap. I'm just going to pour these features into a roadmap." It's okay if your roadmap is just a user experience roadmap and you tell your CEO that, "Look, these are the numbers. We had a very high level of learning gaps last year. Experience issues were skyrocketing. We really need to focus on the experience." And you put out a roadmap and say, "This is the long-term vision I have, but for now, experience is what matters." And you really follow up with that and make sure that you sort out that issue. So before you go into the year or as you're progressing into the year, first know where your product is, then draft out a proper strategy and roadmap for what you want to do to achieve the goal of that particular product. Because if you go in blindly and just say, "Okay, yeah, I'm adding this wonderful feature because I don't know, this health tech company has it." Sorry, Jessica. I'm adding this because this fintech has it. So let me just pump more features into my product. But your product every single day is recording like 15 bucks per week. Like, what are you doing at the end of the day? It's not helping anybody. So the thinking around plans needs to change. And like Jessica rightly said, OKRs are really helpful. But I also like to use this thing called like reverse engineering, where you're basically like break it down. You have an ultimate goal, but with that ultimate goal, you're breaking down into like more manageable steps. You're not overloading yourself. And that has really helped me in my work and also in my work with the team. Another thing I would like to point out, or like to say, is the team itself is the most important thing. I don't know how product managers, I'm always hearing that product managers are sometimes missing from team meetings, or product managers sometimes are just, acting as if they are not part of the team. You are part of the team. And if the team is not right, I can guarantee you the product cannot be great. There is nothing you want to tell me every great product in this world has a great team behind it. And if the team is not right, if you're not setting the team values right, if you're not setting the team processes right, the team workflows right, if you're not doing any of that, then it's going to be really difficult for you to achieve any goal you want to achieve throughout the year. So yeah, those are just some of the things that I'll say. Team is important, and it's also important to know where your product is at before you strategize and plan for the future.
Awesome, awesome. One takeaway from me right now is if the team is not right, you cannot build like a great product. So you have to get the team right, the processes right, the workflows right, carry everyone along. Great. And also focus on the user experience. You can't have a product that is always breaking. Oh, error 404. Then you want to add new features. No. Great. Before we go on to the last segment, I would like to repeat if you have any questions for our speakers, please raise your hand, or you can type them out, and I will be glad to read them to our speakers. I think there is a question from Namdi and Rashid. So Rashid wants to know the tools you use to keep track of your products, roadmap, timelines, dependencies, story point, task assignments, completion, documentation, and presentation. So I'll let Jessica start with that. Thank you.
Hi. Okay. Okay, let me see. For tracking my products, which is like task, bugs, documentation, I currently use ClickUp. It's actually quite good and easy to use. Although sometimes it has its bad days, but yeah, it's quite easy to use. I use ClickUp for that. For my storyboards, user journeys, flows, all of that, I use Miro. Yeah. Did I miss anyone?
Okay.
I think those are all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just checking. Presentation, I'm a Google person. My current organization uses Google, but we use more of ClickUp and things like that. All right. But if you on a normal day, I'm a Google person. So Google Sheets, Google Slides, Google anything. Okay, apart from Draw.o. I don't know what they're doing there. No, I don't use Draw, please. But every other thing, yes, I do.
Awesome. Philip, would you mind sharing the tools you use for roadmaps, story points, assignments, completion?
Okay, thank you. Yes, so for me, because let's say of the uniqueness of my role where there's the analytics part, right? So how it happens is that we have to, do the user gathering, the research, the requirements gathering, and all that, and just to like understand what you want to go and build an advanced analytics tool for, right? So then after all that, you then now move on to the product part, like delivering the product back or the output back to the users. So in those scenarios, my tools are kind of slightly different from the regular product manager, but there are still some ones that are the same. So my organization uses Microsoft, so I use almost all the Microsoft tools for productivity, Microsoft Planner, Microsoft Notes, like almost all their tools for productivity, really. So then, but on the side, I use Jira when I can. I use Miro. I use Figma sometimes, in fact, to design certain things. And a tool that product thought made me about also Whimsical. That tool is very, very, very helpful as well. So I use these tools, just to like get my things done. Then for presentation, when I need to, I use Microsoft PowerPoint and all the Microsoft tools. So yeah, my own is quite just different. So yeah, these are the tools I use.
Great. So Jessica is Google, Philip is Microsoft. Okay, let's see what Chidi uses.
So mine is a blend of a lot. Um, I'm a huge Atlassian fan. So there's a combination of Jira and Confluence. So Jira for managing products and everything, timeline and all. Confluence for documentation, right? And to be honest, I find it super chill because I can easily connect Confluence to Jira and then they are all interconnected, right? For slides and presentation, I still make use of Google Suite. Like they have like a good one. And luckily for me, my organization uses Google Chat instead of Slack or Skype. So we actually make use of the Google Chat. So we are using the entire Google space itself, right? Then for storage, Drive, and all. Now for brainstorming, we make use of Miro. I didn't really enjoy that product at first, but when I got into where I am today, like they really made me see the importance of Miro. So my first encounter with it was for retrospective, and it was really interesting. That process is like really like if you want to like brainstorm on ideas, want to like try to like quickly iterate something, Miro is your best call, like super, right? When it comes to normal engineering, yeah, GitHub and the likes. So for timelines and others, I think Jira still helps because you can still kind of like assign a time to it, assign your deadlines to it, and also prioritize on it. So yeah, that kind of like solves. That's just my suit. Yeah, so far.
Thank you. Fumnanya, how about you?
Wow, I felt a bit sad when Jessica spoke about Draw.io. It's one of my favorite tools because it's so easy. I just need to put like flows together. It just makes sense. But for me, wireframes, flow charts, and all of that, I use Draw.io. Um, I I use Notion. I'm a big Notion fan. Proud Notion user. I use Notion for everything. Like if I think of something, I'm creating a document on Notion immediately. I even use Notion for presentations as well, because it's so easy. Just this big white space where I can just pour out every single design it the way I want to. Um, for data, I use Mixpanel and Full Story together. Mixpanel is quite helpful for quantitative data, and Full Story is helpful for qualitative data. That means you analyzing the behavior of your users on the product. So Mixpanel has been truly helpful, allowing me to capture some things like retention, like key action completion, while full story allows me to see how pages on my product are doing, how the users are interacting for on the product, and that's really gotten me a lot of insights that I've applied to my product. Um, what else do I use? I use Google as well. So I cannot forget Google. I use Google whenever I can. Slides. Sometimes I don't use Google Docs anymore because now it's so boring. But that's the point. That's why I have Notion. But yes, I use Google whenever I can. And what else do I use? I mean communications, you guys, Team, Slack, and all of that. Oh, for task management, we recently moved from Jira to Azure DevOps. So we're using Azure DevOps now. I'm kind of liking it. I think it's really good. And what that means is that we are moving from the period of or the era of story points to the era of hours, where we're using hours to track how long it takes to actually complete a task, which I think is quite beneficial for a lot of product teams as it relates to their work. So those are just a couple of things I use. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing those with us. So we have a couple of questions. So this I'll just throw it to our speakers. So we have a question from Namdi. What advice can you give a potential associate product manager? What strategies will you advise him or her in starting and scaling their career in 2023? Anyone can take this, please.
I think I can say something regarding this. So I know if I actually talk about if I talk about the basic things that everybody is like, just keep persevering, keep persisting, be consistent, have that drive. Everyone will say, oh, yeah, that's true. But there are also some things, like some practical things. And one practical thing I'd like to say is that you really need to develop a deep understanding of the markets and the industry you want to work for. You want to get into fintech, you have to understand every single thing that you can understand about fintech. You can't just say that, oh, I'm applying for this internship and I just hope that I get in. And when they're asking you questions as it relates to financial technology, you look a bit lost. We can't have that. I remember when I was doing my interview with Seamless HR, I'd never heard about something called HR tech. I did not know that we use technology to solve HR processes for enterprises and mid-market businesses. But I dug in and I researched every single thing that I could on that sector. And now it's almost as if that I know virtually everything that's happening. Well, I don't know everything because new things always happen, but you get the gist. You need to develop a deep understanding of the market that you want health tech. Understand how health tech works in Nigeria. How does health tech work in the world? You want to get into logistics. How does logistics work in Nigeria? What do people use logistics technology for? And all of these things are really helpful, especially when you're having conversations with people who are also in the industry, because if they see that drive and that passion that you have for the industry that they're operating in, it helps you to get at least a foot into the door. Another thing that I would advise is that it's not just enough to say that, and I'm not shading product dive here, it's not just enough to say that you have a certificate in product dive. Learn some key skills that can help you in your job. Key skills like, for instance, Philip is very good with data, and you have to, you cannot just stop there and say, well, when I get into the company, they'll teach me everything that I need to learn. Yeah, they will teach you, but you also have to sometimes, like my manager said that time when I got in, he told me that, look, as you're entering, this is not an internship role. Like he was straight up with me. This is not an internship role. If you go in, I'll give you things, I'll allow you to swim, and let's see how you do. And immediately I got in. This was not my first task was to revamp the entire emails for about 15 modules. And I say 15 modules lightly, there are 15 products. That's a lot. And I had to revamp everything. I never done this before, but I had to do it. And when I did it, it was good. It's still the same email notifications that we use today. So all of that application, you need to learn things like strategic thinking. You even need to understand what project management, how it works its way into product management, because all of those application also helps you to like brush up your key skills, and then you become more confident in your role. And finally, please showcase your work, talk about it. I know imposter syndrome is a really crazy thing to have. I remember before I started talking about product management on LinkedIn, I had to ask myself 1,000 times, how many years of experience do you have? What do you know? And, but I felt like, nah, I want to be in a position where I can at least help people with the knowledge that I have gathered. Even though it's something that I read from a book, let me still share it. And from then on, you're able to like gain more experience, and people are able to see that, well, this is something that they're doing. Like, put out your work and achievements. If you're working on a new product, put it out there. If you're building something with your friend, let people know, let the world know. When an age where information is key, and the amount of information that you're able to digest is what can put you in places that you never really expected that you would be in. So those are just some of the some of the things that will advise an aspiring product manager to look at in 2023. And if you're an aspiring product manager in a company that you have product managers, don't say that, oh, I don't want to meet them. They might look down on me. You have body with them, ask them all the questions that you can ask. If possible, work on some tasks with them, right? If they are analyzing something, tell them that you're interested, that you want to analyze it with them. But don't just say that, oh, I'll just stay in my corner and just, be watching from afar. That doesn't really help sometimes. And if your company also has like a place where they are like recruiting for associate PMs within the company and you're not applying, wow. That's not great at all. You should start applying. You start putting your foot forward. And sometimes be bold. If your company doesn't have product managers, tell them that you've learned about this thing and you want to apply yourself in it. And you want to see how you can even set up like a product management department and all those kind of things. Basically, putting yourself out there is extremely helpful. And I hope these tips help anyone who is listening.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Philip, it looks like we want to add something. Please go ahead.
Yes, I would like to. Yeah, I like that question because I get asked a lot, and my thoughts are quite unique on questions like that. And it comes from a place of I see that in this tech space or product management space, product management is like the easy way to get into tech for some people. If you feel product management, you just you don't have to code, you don't have to write, you don't have to learn Python or learn C# or Laravel or any programming language. But really, it makes people box themselves, right? They just like, oh, there's a mental knowledge. Okay, as a product manager, I can only work in certain roles. I can only work in certain organizations, in certain industries. And that's the crux of my point. I see that almost everything we do is either a product or a service. Like you're either rendering services or you're building a product, and sometimes render services through products, right? So I now see people always just, everybody wants to go in fintech, everybody wants to go to logistic tech, everybody wants to go to health tech, everybody wants to, all this tech, if you add tech to anything, it sounds cool, it sounds really interesting. But alas, there are so many industries, there are so many sectors that have product managers. Noodles that we eat is a product. The cars we drive are products. The designers we wear, they are products. They have product managers. They are product managers at Mercedes-Benz. I was talking with a few recently on LinkedIn, and I was like, wow, product manager at Mercedes-Benz. So what do you do? And so you would now be interested to see that you can apply your skill set anywhere, everywhere, right? But a lot of product managers just feel, oh, let me just keep applying to this fintech. They will just this is where I can do some and all that. But there are fashion industries, there are product managers there, So I just want to really advise PMs, aspiring PMs that are just starting out, do not box yourself. Do not put yourself in a box and say, I can only be this. In today's world now, we have product managers that we hear API product manager, you hear growth product manager, you hear data product manager, like the one I'm sitting in. So there are just so many, should I say use case now? I think I'll use that word use case a lot. There are so many use cases for you as the product manager, to like blossom. You can work in different organizations and blossom. Like Fumnanya said, if your company does not have a product manager, look through, you would see there's a need for a product manager in almost every company because you are delivering something and it is continuous. In as much as you have a customer that you are working with, that you are delivering something to, you have to be continuous in that delivery. So another thing I would add is, a product manager should apply knowledge. And this stems from a place where there's a lot of information actually. The social media today, like on Twitter, I'm scrolling and I'm seeing how to become a product manager in 10 steps, how to become a product manager in 2 steps. And you're wondering how. And a lot of, information overload, really. And product manager, somebody that didn't go through product management will just, be confused. And you wonder, where do I start from? Where do I go from? So thank God for schools like Product Dive and some other schools, that are training people in product management, to follow a particular track. So try to gain knowledge from a right source. Don't just, they are saying this thing is the next cool thing, let me go and do that. This thing is the next cool thing, let me go after that. So, get them together in a way you really need for yourself. Look at yourself. What do you need for your personal goals? Then research for the skills you need to achieve those goals, and apply that knowledge in your organization, in your roles, and you see the difference, right? And also, I would also mention that it's good to network. One thing with the tech space is that it's almost sort of like a closed space. I don't know, but you just really see people like, oh, I have a role I want to fill in, and just call somebody or post in the community, and everybody just applies, and the role is filled up. Whereas you are just, on your own, you're scrolling through job boards, you're scrolling through job sites, and okay, let me apply for this, apply for that, and you see that nobody reaching out back to you, right? So really try to network, try to reach out to new people, meet new people, go for events if need be, meet people, because those are people that you just probably they will remember you first if there's a role in their ecosystem. You get. So what else? Volunteering. Yeah, volunteering is also very important. For some people, how would enter this tech space is very different for everybody. So some people volunteer, then they stay on the road. Some people intern. Some people just get it directly. Some people train personally by themselves. So, but just apply a lot of things that would work specifically for you. But also, I'll just personally recommend, because I'm a great believer in volunteering. Just volunteer, apply yourself. Just be selfless, and you see that they will just come chasing after you. So I think that is for me. But also, I want to just reiterate: do not box yourself as a product manager. You are limitless, really. So APMs, all the PMs that we have, there's so many variations of PMs now. Do not box yourself, really, and leverage on current tools, and always keep learning, because the tech space moves very fast, very, very fast. 1 minute you're talking about something, next thing you're talking about ChatGPT, next thing you're talking about another thing that can really blossom, and like that. So always just try to not be nervous and just take it one step at a time, but also apply yourself to those advancements so that you just don't get lost, and also you don't get left behind. So yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Good one, good one, good one. Hi, Chidi, please go ahead.
So I just want to add something to it, because to what Philip said, because I think last year I kind of it's affected me a lot. So we are pro managers. One thing we should avoid is isolation. Now, I'll give an example. Your idea or whatever you're working on, try to bounce it off with another PM. Sometimes it's super helpful, right? So I'll give an example. I was working on something last year, and I was discussing with other engineers, business people, but I wasn't really getting what I wanted. But the one time I tried to bounce it off with another PM, right, I could see things from his own perspective of thinking, like from his own reasoning, right? It's really, really helpful, right? And that led me to create a small, I'll call it a small support brainstorming group for myself. Yeah. So it's comprised of a team of about three PMs, two growth analysts, that's pro marketers. These are people that think product wise, just to brainstorm ideas and to break down things and then pick things from different perspective. I think another thing we can do is to leverage on the product dive community. That's a huge bank of PM. So if you have anything, forget about my idea will be stolen. That thing doesn't work. Don't worry. When you're stuck, come into that place, share that idea, right? And ask for people's insight. It doesn't mean it's everybody's. So whatever you build today, fine, it's making money, but yeah, you're going to help users, you're going to help people, right? You can't be an island of knowledge, right? Let other people help, right? It will really, really, really be helpful. So use your current community. I think ProDive is we have over 1,000 people there, well-learned, super experienced PMs. Ask the question, I'm trying to do this and it's not I don't know, what do you think about this? You hear people share their idea, and then you see some things you've never even imagined or even thought about, right? So that's one. And then if you decide to create a personal network, yeah, try to do that. Try to always just have a small circle of friends you can easily talk to that are also in your field, maybe different sector, but yeah, they're also product managers and they will also give you like product ideas. So that's just all I want to add to that.
Great, great, great. Awesome. So we will be running up in a few minutes, but we have a couple of questions here. So I'll just read out the question, then anyone can answer. It doesn't necessarily have to go around our speakers. So we have a question on what success criteria do you focus on during launch and after? Anyone who wants to take it, can please go ahead. What success criteria do you focus on during the launch and after?
So, to a large extent, when it comes to tracking success, tracking metrics, all those things, for me, it depends on the product to a large extent. Because for metrics of even for success criteria, which is basically metrics, um, every product has its own unique way of impacting customers, right? For I would say for maybe for a social media platform, what you'll be interested in will be maybe adoption, right? For something like that's for launch when you're doing your launching, right? For something like my product, which is into social media sales, what I'm interested in is not really adoption because I have customers who are coming to me and saying, "Oh, yeah, I want to. This sounds interesting. I want to use it." For me, it's more of completing an order, right? For me, that's it. Because if that doesn't happen, my clients will leave. So even though they are lining up right now to come to me, if that's the situation where they're not actually getting money from what they're from my product, or they're not, my product's not impacting their business, they're going to leave, right? So for me, I would track more about the end users using my product because the adoption of the phone numbers or whatever the customer is going to use is basically on my client or the customer, but the end user is the person I'm interested in because that's the person that gives value to the business, right, through me. So for me, I'll be more interested in things like the completion of carts, things like that, right? And then of course after my launch, because for example, I'm preparing for a really huge launch right now, and what I am checking or what I'm going to look at as my success metrics is the number of people who can successfully actually place orders using our platform, right? I already have the market. I just want to see how many people can successfully do that. And that's this for me. And afterwards, of course, I'll be reviewing that particular metrics, of course, to see how it's going, how many people failed, how many people actually succeeded, how many people tried to get on the platform and things like that. So it's relative to a large extent to what exactly your product is.
Awesome. Anyone wants to take it, or we can move to the next question. Any advice on how to conduct productive user interviews? What advice would you give on how to conduct a productive user interviews?
I think I'll jump on this, Sarah. So it's very important to be as honest as possible with the person that you're interviewing. Try and build that sense of rapport with them. The reason why I'm saying this is because when you are conducting an interview with someone, you want to, first of all, make them feel safe, make them feel like it's not a chore, and you want to bring them into the conversation. But in the process of a product interview, one thing that you can never stop asking is the repeated question called why. Um, because if you keep asking that question, you would see that you can keep getting insight. So let's say if you ask a question like, what do you do for a living? and then the person says, oh, I am a lawyer. And the next question, I mean, you typically say that, okay, maybe the next thing that you're going to ask is, what do you do when you wake up every morning? No, right? Let's say you want to build a product for a legal tech product for law firms, and you're asking them, oh yeah, what's the next thing that you do in the morning? You don't ask them that. You ask them what kind of lawyer they are, because there are different types of law that a lawyer can practice. There's maritime law, there's criminal law, there's tax law, so environmental law, all that kind of stuff. So you ask them next, oh, what kind of law do you practice? And they tell you that they practice maybe tax law. And you tell them what, and you ask them what are the pros and cons of tax law? So what am I saying in essence? Don't just skip to the next question. Drill down further on that first question that you have given, that you're giving to them, right? Drill down further and ask like sub questions, and that will allow you to even pinpoint some or get some insights from the conversation with them. Like maybe you would now understand from that interview how tax law works. You understand how they're able to apply it in their jobs, how they're able to take all of those things on a day-to-day basis and put it into their jobs. Because if you're not able to drill down further from each question, you stick to the surface and you're not able to go deeper, right? And one of my favorite things, whenever I always ask questions to customers, are like, okay, they come with a feature, and then I go further to ask, how's your process like? What is the outcome that you're hoping to achieve from this particular feature, and how does this feature affect your process? I'm not just asking for asking sake to just say, oh yeah, we're going to do it. The reason why I'm asking is because I need to know the severity level in terms of their ask or their need, so that would inform my product decisions on the long run. And when I'm able to fully understand that, and I'm able to understand their problems, understand what they're facing, it becomes much easier for me to empathize. And then I can now move forward to start thinking about what could be the possible solutions for this person, or are a large set of our customers even facing these possible solutions. So yeah, those are just some of the tips that I would give on user interviews. Empathize as often as you can. Drill down further on questions that you ask. Don't just stop at one question. If you ask that question, ask more sub questions that are relating to that question, which allow you to derive more insights at the end of the day.
Great. Thank you, Fumnanya, for those nuggets. Okay, Oluwatobi wants to know what product analytics software would you recommend? Amplitude or Mixfunnel, or any recommendation at all? Anyone can take that.
So Jessica, did you want to speak? Oh, okay. So I've had the opportunity to use three analytical tools: Hotjar, Mixpanel, and Full Story. And out of three of them, I would say that we cannot just say, okay, this is the best, so to say. The reason why I'm saying that is because if you use Amplitude, there are some things that you would see in Amplitude that you will not be able to see in Mixpanel. And if you use Mixpanel, there are some things that you would see in Mixpanel that you will see in Amplitude. See, my point is basically is that it's not the tool that should determine your work. It's your work, or it's your work that should determine what tool you need at the end of the day. So if you look at your process and you say that, okay, we need some quantitative data, really, we are really suffering. We don't know how many users are using our product. We don't know what are the key actions that they're taking on the product. We have no data on the funnel conversion. We don't understand how the retention works for this particular product. Then thinking, okay, maybe Mixpanel can help, right? Then maybe you now want to go further and say, okay, we want to be able to see how our users are using the product. Now, that is where Mixpanel doesn't come in. because Mixpanel doesn't have videos. It can't show you how the user is using the product. Then you're now looking at a product like Hotjar or Full Story, and you're now saying, okay, Full Story is able to give us what we need. So because I mentioned earlier that I use Mixpanel and Full Story because Mixpanel has some deep quantitative data that Full Story can give me, whereas Full Story has some deep behavioral data that it can give me that Mixpanel can give me. So the most important thing, like I said, is to first off understand what you want to use the tool for your work, and then that would inform your decisions in choosing what will be the best tool to help you achieve the success that you're looking for.
Great. So before your last words, we have two questions. One is, how do you get an internship placement since most companies want 2 to 5 years experience? And also there is a follow-up question on the user interviews. That how do I get to actually schedule a call with my users? So for instance, a user keep airing my emails. I send emails to them, they open it, but I don't respond. How do I get them to schedule a call with them? Yeah.
Okay, I would like to talk on the internship part. Then I think Jessica has like a good insight for the user part, right? So for the internship part, right, there is no, yeah, most organizations right now are not seeking interns. Neither are they seeking for someone with 1 or 2 years of experience, right? They're looking for experienced PM, 4 years, 5 years. But I don't want to call it a hack, but there's a way to it. Most times, when on the side of things, that's why just as developers build side projects, right? PMs, you can also do the same thing, right? Work on some things with your friend, bounce on ideas, create documentation. Just make sure you have something on the side. For example, I have about 3 to 4 side projects that are actually live. These are like things I just build with my friends, right? And then when I'm applying for jobs, right? Considering the fact that I'm more tilted towards edtech, on the side, I don't build edtech. I test run with fintech, run ideas with machine learning, whatever I want to build on it. Like just try different things, right? Now, when it comes to applying for jobs and they are seeking for 3 years of experience. Now, let me bring it from a perspective of somebody that has not worked in an organization but has side projects, right? I can explain to them that in my cover letter or whatever that I don't have any professional experience, right? But I have built a couple of things on the side. And then you can explain what you built, add the links to it if they are live. It can be on Netlify. It doesn't have to be on a .com, whatever. It can be just something random. Add the link to them. Probably add the link to your documentation where you broke down your processes, right? Whoever is reading that documentation would know that, okay, this person is a junior, right? Or doesn't have up to 4 years of experience, but he or she has tried something and can actually function in this role because you can't say this person is not experienced. Yeah, maybe not in the whole thing, but this person has something. So please try and have something on the side. If you don't have anything on the side, there's nothing for you to present, there's nothing for you to show. And when it comes to program management, it has to do with actually building something people can use, right? It can be just a gifting platform. It can be a random what do you call it? I have a friend that built a random goodwill generator. Every morning it sends out some form of what's it called? Good message to the person. Hi, yeah, you're nice today, blah blah, just to like keep the person happy. And that was what the product he used to get a job, right? So those kind of things can help you. You can't just manufacture experience from it, right? Just as engineers do. You see them, oh, I have a side project on my GitHub. Yeah, PMs can also have the same. Yeah, so that's my 2 cents.
Thank you. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So I was going to touch on what Chidi said, and the importance of side projects. Because I can guarantee you that over 2 or 3 years ago, nobody was talking about side projects. Everybody was talking about certifications. But Philip said something that's really true. technology has changed. Last year we were talking about blockchain. This year is ChatGPT, and everybody is crazy for AI tools. Everybody is like, yeah, ChatGPT is my best friend, right? So what am I saying in essence? When I started out my journey, nobody told me about side projects. In fact, I thought that like the only way to get a product job was to get a certification. And I was lucky. Let me be honest. I was lucky that I was able to get the job that I got. Because interview went great, yeah, but I know I was lucky, right? So what am I saying in essence? It's going to be more difficult because every single day, people are saying that they want to become product managers. I can't tell you the amount of messages that I get almost every single week. But it's nice to see that enthusiasm at the end of the day, but you need to understand that it doesn't come so easy. It is a lot of grit and a lot of hard work that has to be put into it. And like Chidi rightly said, if you put in the work, you will definitely reap the rewards. And that's just truth. People who have done, I know people who have done a lot of side projects, and I know what they are doing today. Someone was a freelancer for 2 years as a product manager. She didn't have a job. She was just working on different products, and now she's working with brass. Right, that's amazing. Right, that's a big step up. So don't just say that, well, the job is just going to come to me. Step out of your comfort zone, experiment, get better, and improve. So yeah.
I wanted to add something. I added to the chat, right? One thing ProDive does, which I'm super grateful for, is the fact that every PM has to work on the capstone project. People don't know that that is a side project. I've had reviews and they be like, oh, after the class, I'm no longer working on it. No, you are meant to keep working on that thing. Like it's a capstone project for a reason, right? You don't have experience yet, build out that capstone project, like make it full out blown, and then you all the experiments you want to experiment it on that project, because you're going to learn so many things. Design, you're going to do it yourself, you're going to write the documentation yourself, so many things. So yeah, that capstone project is super important. So kudos to ProDive for somehow having that. Yeah.
Awesome. So we have come to the end of today's webinar. Honestly, I wish we could go on and on because this is really getting interesting, learning new things. And I can't help but to thank each and every one of you for making today's webinar a success. To our speakers, thank you so much. Thank you so much. You took time off your busy schedules to be here. Thank you, and for making an impact on this community that you were once part of and you are still part of. I think we should have a part two of this sometime soon so we can get to learn more, talk more. Because one thing I have learned that it's good to easily relate to people who are sharing their journey with you. Like you can actually relate to them. So thank you so much. Very insightful. Um, yeah, thank you so much. Any last words from any of the speakers? Please go ahead.
So I just want to highlight a couple of things. I know we've said a lot of things so far. Just to highlight a couple of things for the upcoming PMs. Please listen to what Naya said. It's very important with regards to understanding the space you're trying to enter. The truth is, and I can't stress this enough, I always tell it to people that come to me and say, oh, you want to go into product management. Product management is not easy. Please remove it from your mind. It is not an easy career path. So please put it in your mind, like you are coming to do hard work. Find a mentor, very important. They help you a lot. Like I said, side projects. I have been privileged to interview a couple of product managers, and some of the things that make me throw them off is no experience. Be able to answer what they call these things, case studies properly. it's very important as well. Try as much as possible to do that. And of course, your community. So all the best in 2023. I hope to see celebrations on Slack saying, "Oh, I got a new job." Yeah, I wish everyone all the best. Thank you again for having me.
Yeah. From my end, I think I'll just add one thing. Like I said, please avoid isolation, right? When you're going through stuff, interviews, you're meant to own the whole process, but sometimes that's you can't know everything, right? Ask questions, seek for help, right? And that way you see things from other people's perspective, right? One more thing, like I said, make sure you try to upskill yourself. Like, it's super important. Find time. Like, make sure you find time. It can be 1 hour in a week. Fine, learn something new, or read something if you're the type that reads a lot. Yeah, these things can help you, right? And it can be stressful sometimes. I can remember sometimes there was a day I had an issue and I couldn't sleep at night. Like, the only thing was, how do I convince the head of products that this idea would work, right? And what helped me was the fact that I had to call my friend at 2 a.m. to ask him, please, how best would you approach this? He was surprised I was calling him at 2 a.m. He was like, guy, I don't sleep now. Like, yeah, I know, but please, I need help, right? And I was like, okay, have you tried to like document what you are thinking in a doc, right, and share with him before your meeting with him? That way, he has understood your stuff, so he doesn't cut you short. So he's seeing an in-depth understanding from a perspective. So please, documentation is super important, no matter how small it is. That's why you can see a PM, right, and tell you, oh, how to implement a button. They will document how to implement a button for you. It's not just design a button. So those things would really help you. And yes, engage your community, utilize that. Like, you have it at your palm. That pro dive community is super huge. Make friends there, utilize the whole thing, attend events, attend workshops, whatever that is happening there, please participate, right? Yeah. And thank you guys. Thanks for having me. Super. This is my first time speaking, so yeah, it's huge for me. So thank you very much for attending too. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Chidi. You did amazing. Okay, before we go ahead, I think Adeyomo, your hand was up. 30 seconds, please shoot.
Yes, thank you very much. I really appreciate this gathering. This is a lovely content. But what I am just trying to say is, can we have access to this recording, please?
Yes, did you register? Yes, you will
Of
have
course, I did.
Okay, you will. Thank you so much. Hello,
Thank you
Philip.
very much.
Now, please, your last words.
Okay. Okay, Philip wants to go first. Come.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, it's fine. Yeah, for me, I think look at
Oh, Philip, we can't really hear you.
okay. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Great, fantastic. So yeah, I was saying that a whole lot has been said here today, and when we look at what product management really is, it's a lot of work, really. I said earlier, some people go into product management thinking it's the easy way to take, but trust me, it is not. It is super not, because some people even get to like work and nobody wants to read their documents. Engineers are not just in tandem with them, and there's a lot of friction. So when it comes to this career, you have to really own your skills in having that soft skills, really, because that's what will give you that edge. That's what will get the work done. So I want to just quickly read something from Ibukun Awushika, the former chairman of First Bank. She said, no matter how great you are, you need the combined resources of other people in order for you to be able to achieve much. In the corporate world of today, really in the world of today, collaboration is key. Partnerships are key, because no matter your talents, they are limited. You can't get everything done by yourself. So getting the help of other people, and like Chidi said, getting the help of other people, working together with other people would really give you that edge to achieve your goals. So what I'll just leave here with really as well is do not box yourself, and think wild. Think wild. Think like, don't just cap yourself. Think to the moon, right? So it will really help you to shape up your thinking, to shape up the things you are capable of. And I wish everybody the best in your careers. Thank you so much for having me. It was a wonderful session. I really appreciate the invite. Thank you very much.
Thank you too. Thank you. Fumnanya, take us away.
Yes, thank you, Sarah. First off, I want to say thank you to the Product Dive community, and a very special thank you to Toby, who has been who is a source of inspiration from afar, and I really appreciate. I always tell her that whenever I get the chance to speak, I always tell her that I appreciate that first discussion I had with her before I took the Product Dive certification, and that's really helped me, and I'm really thankful. But I just wanted to touch on two things. Something I'm always very hyped about when it comes to product management that a lot of product managers forget. You're in a position where you are a leader and you have to act like a leader. If you forget that, then it becomes very difficult for you to act out the best of your abilities as a product manager. If you're working with your engineering team, you cannot act as an individual alone. You have to act as a single unit. I mean, if you see all of those zombie movies, one thing that you see with zombies that are in common, that are common with them, is that every zombie is connected. So they know where one is being hurt, so they go to that place and go and fight off whoever is there. So build trust in your team. I'm not just saying this out of saying sake. It's very important because it's going to help you build trust and build a place where people are happy to work with you, where people are comfortable to work with you, where people are, because if you're able to build trust and safety in your team, it becomes much easier for you to, have all of these trade-offs. Your engineering team will not be giving you a lot of stress. You won't be saying, my front-end developer is such a stressful person, or my back-end developer just doesn't listen. Have you asked yourself if you build that level of trust with them? Have you built that level of relationship, or that level of safety where they know that, if I'm working with Philip, for instance, I know that, yeah, this is great, this is fantastic for me, and I know that I'm in the best place possible. If you've not done any of that, then it becomes more difficult for you to build anything. Like I said earlier, a great product needs a great team. So focus on building a great team first, and then you can now focus on building great products. And also, I think someone asked on the chat, I don't know, the question got lost, but in terms of like when the products, when the developers or the engineers are working on a sprint and they just feel a bit idle. Like you cannot be idle, right? You have to start thinking 3 sprints ahead. The way I work is I think 3, 4, possibly 5 sprints ahead. Of course, I'm agile in the sense that if things change, I can confirm to that change. However, it's always good to think 3 to 5 steps ahead so that you know that you have like a really good background of work that is going to happen. And even though you have a good background of work that's going to happen, don't just stop there. Go into the data, dig in. Look at what the competitors are doing. What are they offering? What's the messaging? Like, do a lot of research to the point where research now becomes your food. Like, if you don't do research that day, it feels like something is wrong, right? So don't just stop there and say, okay, my guys are working, right? Because they'll still need your support. So provide yourself when they're asking questions. Be there to unblock things for them. And that is how you can continue to provide value for yourself, provide value for your organization, and provide value for your team as well. So I just wanted to share those tips. And yeah, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn if you have any questions and anything at all that you want to unbox. And thank you so much again to the Product Dive community for having me. And yeah, I would stop here now. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for making the time, making an impact, educating us We are so pumped for the new year with our product goals. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. May I take this opportunity to remind everyone that if you are looking to transition into product management, Product Dive is a place to be. You can't transition into product management without Product Dive, the best in the market. All these our speakers can attest to that. All of them came through Product Dive. Me speaking, I also came through Product Dive. So if that course is for you, we are offering a 15% discount. Take advantage of it and register right now. As well, if you want to take on the complete product management workshop as well, please take advantage of the 50% discount, which ends on the 3rd of February, and register now. Till then, thank you so much. Have a wonderful Friday. Have a pleasant weekend, and let the conversation continue online. Whatever you've learned today, tag Product Dive, type that out, and tag Product Dive in it. Let others know that you learned something new today. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening. Have a wonderful morning. Have a wonderful afternoon, depending on where you are joining this webinar from. Thank you so much for making the time.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone. Take care.
Okay.